Hello guys, welcome back to the channel again. Today we will solve the 17th question of June leet code challenge. So the question is surrounded regions. What we have to do is we have given a matrix of n cross n. So what we have to do is we have given a matrix of some order and we have to change its zeros to x where x around the zeros, and in this condition these three zeros are surrounded by x, because suppose if we check, this zero is surrounded by this x and this x. Now we have this zero in the support of this, but this zero is surrounded by this x and supported by this zero. Now this zero is surrounded by this x and this x. So these three zeros can be converted to the x, but this zero in this is surrounded by here x, here it is x, here it is x, but here we does not have x, so we will not replace this zero by x. So what we have to do, we have to replace all the zeros by x where x around that zero. So how we will do this? Now we will understand the approach using this example. So for doing the solution, what we will do, we will start traversing the borders. Means we will check if border element is 0 or not. If it is 0, then we will do some traversing over there and then we will do some more stuff. Now let's understand the approach using this example. So in the starting, what we will do, we will traverse the borders and we will check for zeros. Now if border has 0, then we will traverse that 0 in some order. So suppose in this example, if we traverse the top row, it does not have any 0, so we will skip it. Now we will check for right row, we does not have any 0 here, so we will skip this also. Now we will check for this bottom row, here also we does not have any x, but when we start traversing this one, this left one, we have 1 0 here, so we will traverse this. Now for traversing, we have to just do two things, or just check 4 conditions. So for 4 condition, what we will check its top, bottom, left and right. Now why we are checking and how we will check, two things are there, that why we are checking and how we will check. So question for how, so the solution for how is, first of all we will check for top one. If top is x or top is not 0, then we will stop traversing here. Then we'll check for bottom. If bottom does not have any 0, then we will stop traversing. Now if left does not have any 0, then we will stop traversing. Now we will traverse the right one we didn't have 0. So now what we will do, we will replace this 0 by 1, so here 1 comes. Now again we will iterate this one, we will do same stuff which we have done with this 0 with this 0. So we'll traverse left, right, bottom and then top, and then before traversing we have to replace this 0 by 1. Now why we should replace it by 1? Because if we start traversing from here to here, then what will happen, then these zeros will iterate again and again. Because if we check left, then we will found 0 here, and if we check right, then found 0 here. So this will iterate and it will be turned into an infinite loop. So we will convert this into 1, and when we will come on this, then we will convert this into 1. Now we will check for this one, same thing. So here x, here x, here x, and here we have 1. So this thing completed. So we have 3 1s here and 1 0. Now at the time of returning, what we will replace, all the zeros by all the zeros by x and all the 1 by zeros. Now why we are doing this? Because suppose in this example, the lines or the zeros at the border can't be surrounded by x. Why they can't be surrounded by x? Because their 1 or 2 side are free, so they can't be surrounded by x. Now the lines or the zeros which are in the shape of this means they are connected by the border zeros. Means suppose this is connected by this zero, so one side we have 0, so this can't be surrounded by x. Similarly for this one also, so we will replace this by 1 and at the end we will replace it by 0. So why they can't be surrounded, I have explained, because they are connected by 1 0 from one side, so that's why they can't be surrounded by zeros. In this case this 0 is surrounded by x's, so we will replace this by x. So how we will do this? Using code. Now let's see our code. Now we'll see my code, what I have done. So first of all, here we have done, start doing the code. Now we'll see my code. First of all, here we have start. So first of all first I have checked that the size is 0 or not. If size is 0, then I have returned. Now this part is checking for the top row, that if top row exists some zeros or not. If it exists some zeros, then we will traverse all the zeros. Now we will traverse using this phase function. We will see this phase function after some time. Before this we will see this all 5 conditions. Now what we are doing here, in this part we are traversing the bottom row. Here in this part we are traversing the left row, and here we are traversing the right row. Means we have, till using these 4 loops, what we have done, we have traversed all the borders. Now at the end I will replace all the ones by zeros and all the zeros by x. Now what this phase function is doing, we will see this. Now this phase function is doing somewhat the main part or the traversing part. Now how it is doing traversing part, this is doing with the help of recursion. Suppose if we check that the left part or the left, this first condition, this first condition, it is checking that if the 0 exists in the left or not. If it exists in the left, then we again call this phase function using this left indexes. Now this we will do for right one, this we will do for bottom one, and this we will do for top one also. So these 4 conditions are helping in traversing, and these 4 loops are checking for the borders, and this final loop is converting the board, and it does not require to return something, so we will just replace board only. So if I submit the solution, I got correct answer. Thank you guys. For more such content, like, share, comment, and don't forget to subscribe.